nonprofits, inner city churches, to find those folks that we serve, so that the folks that we serve, we know are folks who are giving back to the community, who are value add to their community. And so in this way, this is our way of coming alongside what we believe God's doing in a community versus sort of imposing our idea of what we think would be best for it. And so that's kind of the big picture of what happens on second Saturdays. In addition to that, we also have during the month a social enterprise. This is a small business that employs ex-offenders, guys who are coming out of prison, in landscape and construction work. We also do discipleship and job skills training and try to connect them to work on the back end. What we found is that what we call gap employment, as guys who are coming out of prison need kind of interim work before they get, as they're getting stabilized. That's a really key time in a man's life to grab hold of them, to disciple them, to invest in them. And so we've just seen a ton of fruit in that. We're very excited about that and growing that. And so Second Saturday is not just a once a month deal. It is something that is going on all during the month. And we're in a great season of ministry as an organization. So I can remember a few years ago when I started, just I don't know if I came back from this trip. I came back in my office like a raccoon had fallen through the office or something like that, and like it was destroyed. And now I just feel like we're not in that phase anymore. It's like a very nice. We're very blessed. God is doing great stuff at Second Saturday, and we've done a ton. And this fundraiser, this opportunity has become a key piece of that. And so, any questions, I guess, on the Second Saturday side? I know I kind of talked at a high level, but if you have any questions, ask me now. We can talk later more about that.
How'd you get rid of the raccoon?
We moved. We moved. So
it's a picture online.
So yeah, man. So that's the big picture on that. Next slide, I suppose. Is that me, or do you want to talk about?
Yeah, we'll talk about this. So this is primarily about Second Saturday and fundraising for Second Saturday. The hike is fun, but it is totally secondary. So please get that in your minds and hearts that we are helping low-income and disabled homeowners and also our 2S industry guys by what we're doing. And so we do consider the fundraising as a mandatory thing. Anybody can do it. It's really not that hard. As long as you don't procrastinate and wait until the last week to try to do it, most people are successful. We rarely have anybody not be successful unless they're just completely slacking. But this part, the adventure, not only is it a fundraiser, it's also about an adventure. It's about challenging ourselves. It's about doing something that your average person off the street is not going to even consider doing. Just for our homeowners, getting up out of bed can be a challenge every day. Being able to go outside and do something can be a challenge. Well, it's also for us to challenge ourselves, and in this area, climbing a 14er. Climbing a 14er isn't necessarily an easy thing. It's not impossible, but it's not easy. And so it is very much a physical challenge. We've had, if you've never thrown up from exertion, that happens on some trips. If you've never gotten lightheaded, that happens usually. It's definitely tough, but it's doable. We're not going and climbing Everest, so it's fun. And the service projects, we would love to have you come out to Second Saturday. You do not have to be part of the Second Saturday family in order to participate with this. You really don't even have to know anything about Second Saturday, but have a passion for just doing a hike for a great cause. That's enough to be able to get you through this. So, let me get the next slide. Okay, so this is Marcus again.
Oh, so this, okay, I'm understanding your PowerPoint now. Okay, cool. So let me just ask you guys, has anybody here ever done like support raising for like a 5K or a marathon or a mission trip or anything like that? Just curious. Can you get a sense of that? Okay, good. So the way I would encourage you guys to position this, well, first of all, let me say, just to affirm what Andy said, you can totally. This is about the support raising, fundraising piece. That's what this is, a fundraiser. But it's also a chance to challenge yourself. Part of that challenge is the fundraising. We do ask you guys to raise $2,000. And the way I would encourage you guys to see this is that you're asking your network, your friends and family, to support you, to come alongside you, to pray for you, to financially support you and encourage you in something that's really hard, that's really challenging. I mean, I lose, I think, 10 pounds every year I do this thing, so which my wife appreciates. So add that to your list as well. But it's a challenge. It's a physically challenging thing to do, and so I love that I get to invite my friends and family to support me in something that is hard, that is a personal challenge for myself, and that benefits other folks. And so, however, that's kind of how I position it with the folks that I serve. And what I'm going to do after today, you'll get from me an email which will have literally like, here's what you do. Here's how you. Here's an example of a letter that you can tweak to individualize for yourself, emails, all that, a timeline of how to do that. And I am super confident that literally if you do these things and stick to that timeline, like you will more than likely be successful in that. And some folks in this room have already like pretty much more than halfway there. So that's pretty cool. And so I would just say sometimes I had to overcome in myself a perception of like asking people for money is like a bad thing. But really what I'm doing is inviting them to participate in what God's doing, because it's His work, and we're going along for the ride on that. And so I will send y'all an example of like a letter/email that you do. I'll tell you guys like literally what I do every year is. Now I've gone on a number of mission trips and stuff, so I kind of have some folks primed. If you've been on multiple mission trips or on this trip multiple times, you may feel like, man, have I just tapped out my folks? I just encourage you, like, you're probably in a really good place to continue to ask folks, because I think you'll be continually surprised on who gives and who supports you on this adventure. Let me ask, anybody who's done this before have kind of affirmation of that, or just I'd love to hear kind of your thoughts on that. Jessica, what was it like for you?
I definitely sent it out to family and friends, and I never thought that certain people would pour into it. They love the message, whether they're Christian or not, or affiliated with whatever, they just feel like that's that organization.
Yeah. Cool. Jeff, you can say something?
I really did not think I was going to raise the money. I was like, I'm just going to raise what I raise, and I'll cover the difference out of pocket. I know that the point of it is to have as many people know about it, so you can bring awareness to the ministry. But thanks to her, she was like, help me get creative with the whole process. She knows that I can cook. She said, why don't you have a gathering and have people show up and cook a bunch of food, and while everyone's there, you can tell them about the trip, tell them it's like Saturday is, and like it's a good opportunity to like, the people just like, Andy will be there and be shameless about it, and like, get your phones out, then don't get your phones out, I'm going to look at you. And it was an amazing opportunity that like God really surprised me in that, and like they raised so much money just in that one like party that we threw. Like, so there's lots of options out there besides just emailing people.
Yeah, for sure.
That emails a ton of people, but you can get creative with the fundraising process.
Yeah, absolutely. And I would say like that's absolutely right. I mean, can we go back to that previous deal? So I mean, you can literally just cater to just your friends, your family, your relationships, like who you are. Like I've done stuff in the past where I did like kind of like a mini Kickstarter thing where it was like, hey, for everybody who supports me like $25, like it was stupid stuff like I'll give you a hug, or like $100 I'll I don't know, do something, or like bring you back like something from Colorado, or I think if somebody gave like $2,000, or I would like write them a song, or something. Just you can be creative with this whole process. It doesn't. It can be a really fun process. All that to say. So you can really cater it to yourself. You can make a video.
Yeah. So we'll cover it. Yeah.
You want to cover?
Yeah. So video. Steve has gone in years past, and he's a videographer. So use your talent. But he just created a fun video. I don't know if this one has a live link or not. I think yeah, there it goes. 10 minutes.
Hey, thank you for taking the time to click this link. So I'm going on a trip this summer, and I wanted to tell you about it, and I took some notes because I'm not good at speaking on camera. But most of you know that I love to travel. I love being in the outdoors. I love nature. I love camping. I love hiking. I love mountains. I love taking pictures. And I love ruining pictures. Well, this summer I'm hoping to combine all of these passions and together, along with a group of about 12 others, go on a big Colorado endurance hiking trip. But with one goal in mind, and that is to raise awareness and support for Second Saturday, which is an awesome organization here in Dallas. Second Saturday gets hundreds of volunteers together every second Saturday of the month and do repairs on homes that really need it in some of Dallas's poorest neighborhoods. The residents are typically elderly people with significant material and spiritual challenges, and Second Saturday operates on donations that cover construction materials to help get the houses safe, up to code, and functional for those that are physically disabled. I personally, for this Colorado trip, will be paying my own trip costs, but the whole purpose of me going is to raise $2,000 by July 15th to go directly to the ministry to help support them. Think of it a little bit like a run for charity, except in the mountains. I'm asking that you'll prayerfully consider supporting me on this trip, and also that you will pray for me that I will be able to pull it off. I'm really looking forward to the challenge, but it's not going to be easy. We're attempting to hike in, backcountry camp, and summit a total of 14er mountains in Colorado, which means they're 14,000 feet high. And I'm starting to get old, so please pray for me. Feel free to contact me with any questions about Second Saturday or about the trip itself. If you'd like to support me, just click the button below or the link below to donate online. If you'd rather give a check, there's some information about that below as well. And the donations are tax deductible, and again, 100% of what you donate will go towards helping an elderly man or woman in South or West Dallas. So thank you for taking the time to watch this. Thanks for even considering sponsoring me, and thank you for knowing me. So I'll see you around. Take care.
Good stuff.
Cover everything that he needs.
Yeah, and you don't have to be a professional videographer. I mean, he is, but what you could do like a Facebook Live video or things like other things like that that you could send to folks.
You can use social media, you can use mail, you can use email. We're in an age where there's so much free resources to be able to get information out there, so just use it.
Yeah, social media, Facebook group events, all the things. I will tell you guys, just on a practical level, I haven't seen a lot of engagement at like Facebook fundraisers and stuff. So those probably aren't the most effective thing to do. Honestly, my opinion is that the most effective thing that you can do is to just ask folks as personally as possible, whether it's via email, phone call, a mailed letter, and then follow up with them. What you're going to find is that people want to support you, and you might be like, well, I'm waiting, and they just need to be reminded. That happens to me a lot too, and so what we'll do over the course of the next 3 months is you'll have the opportunity to just kind of remind folks, say like, okay, holy crap, I've only got 2 weeks left, I have this much left to raise, and people respond to that. So anyways, this is the payment slide. What did you want me to touch on this? Just that people can give online, obviously. Yeah. They can go, I've already set up your link. You have a fundraising page, which I've created for you already, on 2strails.com. They'll just go down, click your name, it'll open your page. That codes it to where we see that goes to you. They can mail in a check, whether they can mail it to you, and you can give it to us, or they can mail it directly to us. Just have them attach a post-it note that says "for you" on the check, and then it's cash. We just keep track of that. Question?
So my parents said they already donated for the link,
Okay.
but I don't know how to look and see how much.
Yeah, I can look and see really easy. So if you are ever wondering, if you're waiting on a donation,
Someone did donate.
you can say, hey, did this person give? And it's really easy for me to go in and see, yes.
So we can check it ourselves?
Yeah, not yet.
Brady would send out an email.
Yeah, I'm going to send out weekly emails to the group.
Yeah.
So I'll track everything that comes through the website. You'll see it. I'll email the group every
Yeah.
Wednesday, and you'll see who's donating and what amount.
For sure.
And then we kind of have more of a manual process to bring in. If someone gives you cash or a check, you can let me know, and I can add it to the spreadsheet, or I'll get it from Marcus or Andy. But you'll see all the online donations every week.
Yeah.
And most of that's not just to see what people give, but so you can thank people for
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Something else I would add to that is like the Venmo or PayPal, all these options are there too. The people, it's easy to Venmo you instead of cash. If we have the cash today, say, hey, you can Venmo. So I think that when I did the fundraise, I got a lot of people trying to send me money to Venmo, and it's the same.
Interesting. The easiest way for us is going to be the online, because literally we can just see it directly going to you. So it might eliminate a step, but again, I think it's whatever makes the most sense for, like my grandpa's going to mail me a check. You know, that's fine. So great.
Yeah,
That's
there's a page.
example of a page. Yeah, just go on there. Hopefully, just a couple clicks. That's it.
So what did they see after? Sorry, I'm
Yeah.
curious. Like,
Yeah.
so they put in the information, it
Yeah.
says next,
Yeah.
and where did they go? Is it just like payment processing, or is there like any additional information? Or?
Can you go back to that page? I'm trying to recall what that is. So it'll say next. No, next. They'll enter their credit card info, and then it should be one more click, and then it'll say, "Hey, thanks for supporting Mary, or thanks for supporting Marcus on 2S Trails." That's kind of what that is.
Cool. And then one more question.
Yeah.
If someone donates through the website,
Yeah, all the donations that you guys receive are tax deductible, so we'll for sure let folks know that. And I'll send you a sample letter that you can tweak, totally disregard, or totally make your own, but it includes kind of all the key info. So.
Yeah, we'll send out the how-to guide, and we'll have it go through the payment. So,
Okay, any other questions on that?
Were checks made payable to second Saturday?
Yes.
Or second
That's right, so they'll be made payable to second Saturday. You do want to make sure, so they don't want to put your name in the memo line. You want it to be kind of separate from the check. So if there's just a way for them, typically it's that post-it note just attached to the check that says, hey, this is for Ashley, or this is for whoever, so that we know that, so we can code it that way. Sometimes if the check has like your name somewhere on that, it may not be tax deductible, so that's why you have to be careful with that.
And if they pay cash, like to you personally or Venmo,
Yeah.
and we want them to receive a tax deductible receipt,
Yeah.
can we just use cash from ourselves and say it's from the person, and then they can receive, so that whenever it comes to the system, it's earmarked as kind of
I'm trying to think how we would do that. I need to look into that.
complicated. I'm just trying to.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's a good question.
Most of the time when people give cash, they don't really want the tax deductible status. So a lot of times what people have done in the past is you can just make the online payment yourself, deposit the cash in your account, and then click on your own link and donate to yourself. And then you can tell me and say, hey, this was Sarah, whoever, and I can mark that name just so you have it. That way at the end when you send thank you letters and stuff like that. But normally people who donate cash don't want that. If they do, then that'd be a little different.
Yeah, and the last thing I will just say is, hey, we're going to be a team together this summer, and this can very much be a team process. So if you're ever feeling like, man, just let us know. We'd love to come alongside you and help you think about, okay, here's some things you could do, or have you done this, or are you kind of keeping track of the benchmarks of. I mean, I will tell you guys, honestly, for me, it has become simpler the more that I've done it. And that now the folks who support me are just kind of, they expect me to bug them a little bit. And so I email them, hey, I'm going back on this trip. Love to have your support. I email them maybe a month later. Holy cow, I still have $1,500 to raise. And donations come in. And then and just keeping those touch points with folks. So, great. That's all I got on that.
so